Welcome back to Culture Shock. This one is wild. A totally mentally stable woman recorded a video about how expensive gas prices are, right? Like, sounds totally relatable. How awful the economy is, obviously, under Joe Biden. But instead of blaming Joe Biden, she blames... Well, actually, let's just let her explain whose fault it is.
$98 to fill up the tank today. $98 $98
That's
I
rough.
have to decide between buying gas or buying food. And guess who wins? Because I have to get to the job that I need to buy anything at all. That doesn't pay me enough. And people want to donate $1,000 cats. 98 goddamn dollars at Costco to fill up my tank. $98.
$98.
$5.50 a tank. $5.50 a gallon at Costco. $5.50 a gallon at Costco. This is the work of the religious right.
Oh my God. No, it's not Joe Biden's fault. It's the religious right's fault. Because clearly the religious right controls everything in this country right now, right? I had no idea that Joe Biden and his administration was part of the religious right. I didn't know that gas and groceries were so expensive because of the religious right. These people are trained to hate on anyone that doesn't buy into their leftist cult-like mentalities. And today it was the religious right's lucky day.
Listen to Robert Reich, who clearly, who gives us all of the evidence about how our poverty is a choice that our government made for us. A CEO is not worth 351 times what I get paid. Ever. You, religious right, who are doing this and have been doing this to us. You profiteering companies. You billionaires. Stealing us, breaking our backs. Stealing from us. Profiteering off of us. Let me repeat, I have to decide between buying food or gas. Guess which one wins?
I wonder if the person next to her, like parked in the parking lot as you got in the car, is just looking at her like holding her phone up, filming that. Typical leftist weirdo immediately gets into her car and starts filming, having an absolute mental breakdown. And of course, it's a liberal blaming others for what they voted for. Honey, did you vote for the religious right? I don't think you did. It appears to me, based on what you're saying and your personality, to put it lightly, that you voted for Democrats, who are the ones that are making these prices so high. That should be like the liberal leftist Democrat tagline for every year going forward, because they're the ones that will scream and cry and complain. You know, their groceries are so high, their gas is so high, this, that, and the other goes wrong. Who made that happen? Who made that happen? The people you voted for. A moron reporter over at Deadspin tried to frame a Kansas City Chiefs fan, who's a literal child, by the way, as racist. The kid was under fire by, left-wing so-called journalists claiming the kid wore blackface at a game. Except one quick look at the photo, you'd see the kid was doing, double face paint, had half of his face red, the other half painted black, which are the team's literal colors. The journalist at Deadspin published an article with the headline, "The NFL needs to speak out against Kansas City Chiefs fan in blackface native headdress." Uh-oh. A kid dressing up to support his team. Someone get Roger Goodell on the phone. In what world did that article get through the publication process? Like, the lead image you used is a photo of the kid where you can only see the half of his face that's painted black. This journalist deceptively chose that photo to use when there's a million other photos that show his face is split in two, half red, half black. So he sees a photo of a kid with half of his face painted black and goes, bingo, that's the one. That's the one we're going to use. And then as soon as the photo appeared of, two colors, he went, nope, I don't see it. I'm rolling with my photo of his black face. Yep, I'm rolling with it. The reporter's name is Karen, by the way. Apparently pronounced Corin, not Karen, but I'll read it like Karen. In what universe, Karen, is this considered blackface? So when good old Karen got called out online, he doubled down and said that he claimed that wearing Chiefs colors was in fact making it worse than if the child had just worn blackface. Make that make any semblance of sense. And then he attacked his critics for hating Mexicans while wearing sombreros. So even when the writer was called out, he didn't care. He was trying to conjure up some, racial news cycle, because that's way more important than trying to not smear a kid and ruin his life. And not only did Deadspin try to ruin this kid's life, then it comes out that the kid is literally Native American. No retraction, no apology, no nothing. Unbelievable. What people will try to do to push this racial narrative in the mainstream media just to stir up controversy and chaos. This sounds like a Nicholas Sandmann 2.0 story on the rise, and yet another liberal news outlet that needs to be taught a thing or two about reporting and accuracy. And it seems every time I talk about those strange teachers in schools who love to confuse children with their gender and their identity and having them call them weird names and, oh, don't call me Mrs. because I'm not a Mrs., but I'm also not a Mr. It seems every time I see one of those crazy teachers, they're teaching kids that are younger and younger. Now they have infiltrated preschools.
Okay, guys, I can't. This is too funny. So I'm at work, and those of you who don't know me, I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a preschool teacher. So instead of using Mr. or Miss, we use mix. So the kids have been really awesome doing that. I work with 3 and 4-year-olds.
3 and 4-year-olds are being taught to use mix. Mix.
One of my kiddos came up to me and he goes, "Are you mixed up? Are you mixed up?"
Okay, based?
I was like, "No, sweetie, I'm not mixed up. I just use mix instead of Mr. or Mrs." And he's like, "Okay."
That's a brilliant kid. That kid is gifted. These kids' parents should be worried that their teacher is a mix. An MX, a mix. Remember that period of time where it was like Womexin? WOMXN? What a joke. What a joke. You're having children use they, them pronouns. I'll tell you something. If I learned that as a kid, I would be screwed up. That would be the most damaging thing I would ever learned in preschool. You're gaining consciousness. You're aware of things. That's crazy. And this crazy teacher, this lady, gets absolutely schooled by a 3-year-old who knows far, far, far more than she does. It's incredible. Honestly, kids are much smarter than we think. It's funny, I complain that all these people are running to their cameras and their phones and filming, but you guys are giving me such great content. Please don't ever stop it. It's easy to laugh at you. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.